Dave Levy. Housemates. Housemates. Dave Levy.
Who holds the record for living the longest with you? Think about it. For some of you, it's your parents, right? For others, your spouse. For still others, maybe it only feels like it's your spouse. For me, it's Tony. 20 years. That's how long Tony and I were housemates. And you don't live that long with someone without learning a little something about yourself. In my case, how much I'd rather live alone. But don't get me wrong, please, I love Tony. But it's also true that towards the end, he and I were hardly speaking to one another. We had reached a kind of quiet agreement. I would give him food, and in return, he would walk around and throw up hairballs. Did I mention that Tony was a cat? Tony's a cat. Do we have any cat lovers here today? A few? How about cat haters? A few more. Yeah, I find that most people tend to fall into one of those two categories. But love him or hate him, you probably recognize that the name Tony is not a very common choice from the cat named Cat along. And that's because Tony was named in honor of a person, a man by the name of Anton, who was my then future fiancé, now ex-wife's, then recently deceased grandfather. And as I mentioned toward the end, my relationship with Tony had grown somewhat catatonic. But it wasn't always that way. I still remember bringing him home for the very first time. A cute little long-haired black kitten. I said to him, "Look, Tony, everywhere the light touches is our apartment." One day, Tony, all of this will be yours. I didn't realize how soon I would be right. I had two other adult felines living with me already. Tony was low cat on the scratching post. But he quickly and literally clawed his way up to the role of top dog, cock of the walk, Lion King. And when he was not busy terrorizing the other cats, he was loving on people. Tony was a lap cat and a catnapper. In fact, he loved nothing more than to catnap on your lap. Trouble was he shed so much wherever he sat, he left a flat mat of black cat scratch. That's why I never lacked black slats. And Tony was loyal. He was a loyal cat. He stayed with me when I got married. He put up with the birth of my son. And he came with me in the divorce. Not necessarily a given. But, and I apologize if I pussyfoot around this issue. After so many years, having Tony became more of a chore than a joy. Especially with all the shedding and the pooping and the strange noises. And that was just me. My girlfriend would say, "Get rid of him if he's such a chore." Full disclosure, she's allergic to cats, so I suspect ulterior motives. But either way, I couldn't do it. I gotta tell you, I didn't know he was going to live so long. I kept thinking he could die at any minute, and that giving him away was just giving somebody else the responsibility of dealing with his death. So I kept him. But then one day, inevitably, catastrophe. His kidneys failed. And it was time to make that difficult decision. My son, now a teenager, and I spent one last day by his side, stroking him and shedding a little bit more than just hair. Finally, we scooped him up in a comfortable towel and took him to the vet for the last time. Now, at the vet's office, there were two receptionists helping people, but because of space, only one line. So while the first receptionist was helping this man, his little girl, and their dog in front of me, the second one leaned around and said, "Yes, sir, can I help you?" The little girl right there I didn't just want to shout back, yeah, I've come to put this cat to sleep. Right? So I just started gesturing and saying, like I hadn't been in Toastmasters for 5 years. The cat had my tongue. The receptionist comes out from behind the counter to talk to me face to face. And I whispered to her, it's my cat's time? Oh my God, sir, I'm so sorry. And she whisks us into a private waiting room where we talk to the vet who agrees to put Tony down in the back. We say our final goodbyes. The vet scoops up Tony and is about to leave when she stops to say, I'm sorry, sir. Did you want this towel? Now, I'm a bit of a cheapskate. I did want the towel. I was torn between wanting to say so and afraid of how it would look in front of my son. But for better or for worse, I guess I had raised him in my image, because it was actually him who looked at me and said, it's a towel. We kept the towel. And we drove home in silence, my son and I, and our towel. You know, Joni Mitchell used to sing, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I guess that's another lesson I learned from having a housemate for 20 years. Because Tony's been gone 2 years now, and I still miss him. I miss him every time I would walk into the house and imagine I could hear that familiar greeting cry. And I miss him every time I find some of his hair, which is, I don't know, about every day. And I miss him every time I see my girlfriend use that towel. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. But while Tony now has a house in kitty heaven, where I'm certain he rules with an iron paw, he will forever have a home